Hello, Paul Hamilton here for iPad Monthly. Welcome to edition 13. We're going to jump straight into it. We're going to make this interactive aquarium using Scratch. Now, this is really targeted at our little learners, but you can kind of, I guess, manipulate and change it a little bit to suit your target audience. So let's jump straight into it. We'll create a new document, and we're just going to quickly go to our backgrounds. Backgrounds can be incredibly powerful in regard to giving our coding story a little bit of context. So let's go with the water scene. And then we'll hold our finger down on Scratch and get rid of him. Now, what I've found with my very young students, they find this difficult to do because when they place their finger down on Scratch and leave it down, they slightly move it and therefore the cross doesn't come up. So just a little tip there to get your kids to work on it. And let's bring in a seahorse. And what we'll do is just reinforce with our students loops, and I use a red hula hoop to do this, but you can do it any way that you want as long as you're kind of teaching that concept and not just doing it solely digitally. I think you really need to teach that kind of loop in context. So let's go with a yellow. Let's bring down our execute code, and let's just go, let's say it goes 5 that way and then 5 this way. And then we'll just put our magic loop, our repeat on it, and always encourage your kids to do a little bit of a test. So it goes backwards and forwards. That's fantastic. That's kind of what we want. So the first kind of learning, I guess, in this activity is teaching our kids about loops and how we can make it go forever, how we can shorten code to get the same effect of putting lots of code in. And then what we're going to do here is add, I guess, an educational context to it and start to get kids to actually explain what kind of environment, maybe the conditions that animal might need to survive in its habitat. So what we're going to do is we'll bring in a different piece of code. We'll bring in a touch code. And what we'll actually do is we'll go to our purple code and then just give it a little bit of a context and a text. Now, what you could use there instead is you could actually use an audio. So when the actual students actually touch the seahorse, they could actually explain it. So they could do it verbally. But for this activity, I'm just going to do a little text here. So once again, we might say the seahorse needs, and then the kids can actually explain what it actually needs. And so when we press play now, we've got our little kind of, animation with our seahorse, but we've also got a little bit of interactivity where you actually tap on it and it comes up with an explanation of the habitat in which it lives. Now, you can do lots of different things with this. If I press stop, you could actually put the seahorse in a different climate that it doesn't survive in, and you could get the students to say why they can't live in it. So you could actually flip your context a little bit if you want. And if we look at the different things that we could actually do, we could go for a whole range of different kind of environments. We might go with kind of like a desert environment, and we might have our horse doing something, but we might actually add a different kind of character there. And let's add a camel. Let's make it a little bit smaller. So I'll just bring that down and make him a little bit smaller. So we can really start to look at habitats, environments, animals, make them animated, but also get them to be more an interactive kind of learning simulation as well. So I hope you found that useful. Just a fantastic little way of getting kids coding, also storytelling, but also demonstrating some knowledge about living things and habitats. Paul Hamilton here, signing off.